Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now tonight, I am interviewing, oh my god, the offspring of a classic acting family in Hollywood. And that is Calista Carradine, the daughter of David Carradine, niece of Keith and Robert Carradine, granddaughter of John Carradine, cousin of Ever Carradine and Martha Plimpton, and I can't wait. It's going to be pretty awesome. Get to ask her questions about Kung Fu. The legend continues. She was in that. She was in the She was in the Force movies, Total Force and Absolute Force, and all that good stuff. And yeah, here's my interview with Calista Carradine.
Hello.
Hey, Calista.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
How are you doing?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. Finally, we get to talk.
I think Mercury must be in retrograde.
Mercury?
Well, that's what they say when things go amok.
Oh. It's a Mother Nature kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, supposedly.
Well, it's such an honor because you're part of an offspring of a great legacy in the movie business. I think what makes the Carradines so appealing is that you guys are like one of the few show business families that doesn't constantly show up in the tabloids.
It costs a lot of money to stay out of those, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we try to behave ourselves,
Yeah.
What's funny, though, is my father really got a lot of publicity when he was a bad boy, but usually, we try to carry some decorum and stay out of the tabloids.
Well, I think Dennis Hopper outdid him a little bit in tabloid fodder.
Yeah. Well, I think, my father was sort of the perfect follow-up for John Lennon, actually.
Yeah.
Back then,
Mm-hmm.
kind of offbeat as far as, what America was used to.
Absolutely. You and I have...
On the new beat. On the new beat, that's what he was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You and I have something in common. Our mothers are named Donna.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did yours dance?
My mom does like to dance, but she's not a dancer.
Yeah, my mother raised me in the back of a dance class or in the back of the stage, back of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that you were in such a famous family and that you would follow in their footsteps?
Back in the 70s, when I would go for a walk with my father,
Mm-hmm.
Children would follow him like he was the Pied Piper.
Mm-hmm.
And if we sat down to eat, people would come up and ask for autographs. And they'd hold airplanes for him so he could run out on the runway with his guitar to jump on. That's about, in the early 70s when he was all the rage.
Mm-hmm. And so when did you discover that you had a talent for acting?
Yeah.
You don't know?
People would tell me that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But did you do theater in school?
Mm-hmm. I was juggling between playing guitar, dancing, singing, doing theater. Well, I was shooting a film with my dad when I was, how old was I? 13, I think we started shooting.
Where did you start shooting?
while we were doing Matahari, the idea was to watch a woman grow up. So we wanted to start out with her childhood, which no one ever really talks about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I adore your father. I think he was one of the most underrated actors of all time, and I think he should have gotten Academy Award nominations for Bound for Glory and Kill Bill, and I'll never understand why he didn't.
Well, you know, wait a while and people will just think he did, you know, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had Golden Globe.
He get nominated for that?
Well, he had Golden Globe nominations.
That's true. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite role that your dad played?
Well, you know, I like the Long Riders a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I also liked the Circle of Iron because he plays 4 characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them are animals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Gauguin the Savage was an interesting film. Oh, geez, there's another one with colored horses. I can't remember what it's called now. Kill Bill was pretty much a knockout right there.
Yep.
Bound for Glory was fun. I was on the set for Bound for Glory.
Mm-hmm.
That was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, those are just off the top of my head, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorites. I love Q, the Winged Serpent. I like that one. I like Trick or Treats, Armed Response, Evil Tunes, and this TV movie of the week he did called Mr. Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good ones. I like those. I think he ties with your grandfather for being like one of the most prolific actors of all time.
Well, my grandfather did over 500 films.
Yeah.
And at one point, my dad had his resume printed out on this computer paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's old-fashioned computer paper that kind of folds back and forth when you pick it up.
Right.
You know? And he held it up above his head, and it hit the floor. Yeah, he had a long resume.
Oh,
my grandfather's must have been, you know, twice that long.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah, I mean, he did The Grapes of Wrath, Stagecoach, all the Universal horror movies. I mean, he did some phenomenal work. Phenomenal work. What was he like?
Mm-hmm. He was a great storyteller. Very dignified, really. He had a lot of English in him, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of pride. But that voice, just an incredible voice. He practiced at it every single day, you know.
Yeah.
That, you know, Shakespearean training type voice.
Yeah. Yes, I saw an interview on YouTube of him, like in the early '80s, and he was he seemed very well read and very intelligent, and he was talking about, you know, like the business side of acting and like just like why he thinks that, you know, horror movies are so appealing and stuff. And it was a good interview. I enjoyed watching it.
Well, his thing was theater, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a lot of respect for the films and television. You know, theater was his thing.
Yeah, but he did all those movies to make a living, pretty much. Right,
but I mean, the people he worked with, you know, they had him on contract to Fox, so he was working constantly, and you know, what a great experience. Yeah, I wish they had that still.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think I think your father's generation kind of killed that, you know, with Easy Rider and like Midnight Cowboy and stuff, and then, you know, the little the little movies that became big Hollywood hits, and then the studio system was gone. You know. I met your Uncle Bobby at Son of Monster Palooza in Burbank last September, and he was a gentleman. He was a great guy. I enjoyed meeting him.
He's a sweetheart. He's going to come down and play some guitar with me on next Saturday, the 17th, in Palm Springs.
Nice.
At Wang's. We're gonna do some blues and some other stuff.
Pretty much all you guys play guitar, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't catch me doing it very often, though, because I'm not as good as the guys are.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll do it.
Yeah, my dad was in a rock band when I was a kid, and he tried to teach me some chords, and just my fingers are too fat to, like, you know, get those chords.
Well, then you need a bigger guitar.
Well, I tried electric. I tried an acoustic that was a little bit bigger than the electric, and I couldn't do it. I have no musical talent.
You've got, like, Kansas hands, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And Keith, he's a very talented actor and singer, too. He was Academy Award nominated for Nashville.
He won.
Oh, that's right. He did win.
He won for I'm Easy, best song in a film, yep.
Yeah, best song. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, an Academy Award for a song, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Before that happened, I didn't even know that you could get an Academy Award for a song. I was like, ooh, what a concept. I like that idea.
Yeah, it was kind of a new thing at that time, I guess. I think some of the Broadway musicals won some scores, but then, you know, just country music in the 70s with that one was like one of the first, I think. And their brother, Michael Bowen, he's a funny guy.
He's a fun one. Serious. He goes at everything full tilt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he said he was going to go ride a bicycle, he'd ride it up the top of a mountain, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he never went halfway on anything.
Yeah. I liked him in Valley Girl, in Night of the Comet, and Jackie Brown. He's done some good ones.
He did a great job. You know, last time I saw him was up in Toronto when we were working on Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. Mm-hmm. And he got a role in that, and he did a great job. It was a really intense role. Mm-hmm. And he just nailed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your cousin Martha Plimpton, she's funny.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
She really is. Yeah. For a while, I was watching her show religiously.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The first time I saw you was on Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. I was like 12 years old, and I thought you were one of the most gorgeous women I'd ever seen in my life.
How old are you?
I'm 34 and a half.
Oh, geez, that's possible, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm an old soul. I always have been.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Wow, the time flies.
Did you have fun working on that show?
Oh, it was great. It was the most fun you could possibly have. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, there were all these martial artists there. Mm-hmm. You know, with all their martial arts weapons, and so you always had something to play with and something to learn while you were on set.
Yeah. And
there are a lot of musicians. Some of the martial artists were musicians. My dad plays a bunch of instruments. Mm-hmm. The driver played piano. The stand-in was, you know, quite a singer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
One of the directors played violin. No, it was endless. It was nothing but fun. And then the parties afterwards, dance all night long. I danced with every single person. Yeah.
And that was shot in Canada?
Up in Toronto. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And so did you know karate like your dad did?
Well, my dad didn't do karate. He did kung fu.
Kung fu, I mean.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, a softer, more circular, not so robotic-looking system.
Yeah.
They have the crane moves and, praying mantis moves, snake moves, just a lot of fluid stuff. Tigers, aggressive, but it's still not choppy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a tomboy growing up?
I learned, I learned from when he went to Cam Ewan's studio.
Right.
There were a bunch of young guys there who ended up being, working with him on the show. And I learned from them.
Mm-hmm.
And they spent their lives, studying Kung Fu. And my dad kept working on it, but not like the guys that weren't stars, They put all their energy into, So I learned from them.
They're
scattered about now. It's very difficult to find someone that does that system.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Bruce Lee teach him? Or he was like...
No, but Bruce Lee was doing Kung Fu, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did his own spin on it, which some martial arts artists do. I like to get the original, untampered with traditional Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
But people do like to add things and meld things with other styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember you also did the Force movies, Total Force and Absolute Force.
Total Force, you like those? They're talking about, Steve Command is talking about doing a sequel. That would be nice.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Those were fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
I had one with, let's see, there's Frank Stallone and Timothy Bottoms and Oleg Tartar. Is that how I pronounce his name? It's been so long. Yeah, and I got to do some badass fights in that one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one where you got the pink hat and you kick that guy's ass from the living room all the way to the kitchen, and then you like rip his shirt off and start fondling his nipples.
Well, sort of, yes, but
yeah.
We had to come up with some reason to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
I was just ripped. Oh.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It was classic.
It was funny. But he'd sit down and have like 2 or 3 meals and then work out like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Must got metabolism then.
Mm-hmm.
So at what age did you start singing?
Well, I was always singing. The first time I sang with a band, I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before that, I had recorded for Americana, which was called Around at the time. I sang the title song for that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, since they changed the title, it's no longer the title song, but that was my first recording studio jaunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew before I got into a band in 1980, I used to just play my guitar and sing, that makes me nervous. getting up with a band and singing doesn't make me nervous, but sitting there with my guitar, it does. Some people really like it. You know, what I do is, you know, kind of simple. People like it.
Yeah.
It's down to earth and soulful, and they like that.
It certainly is soulful and bluesy. I've watched your videos on YouTube. I'm a subscriber, by the way. And
Are you?
Yes, I am.
I'll have to put some more up then, just for you.
Oh, I would so appreciate that, hon. I would appreciate that. I love that music video you made for Cry. It's very moving.
You like that one, eh?
How long did that one take to make?
Oh, it didn't take very long. It was all shot really close to where we were. There's some mountains right behind me, and then Palm Springs over on the other side of town.
Was that shot on an iPhone?
What?
Was that shot on an iPhone?
No. Some kind of little video camera. I don't know anything about cameras, unfortunately, except I can always tell when one's pointed at me.
Oh.
I tend to sense the lens. Yeah, that was a song written by Solomon King, and I had worked with him. We got together and did some music, and I liked his songwriting a lot. I liked his guitar playing, but his songwriting was memorable. So I asked him, do you have a song that would work for me? And he said, I do, actually. And I said, what's it called? He said, Cry. And I thought that sounded right. It sounded, you know, it reminds me of Janis Joplin, which works for me. And I ended up recording that. And then there was another one I wanted to record of his. I finally recorded. It's not out yet. Called Spell for You. And so he's going to come down on the 17th to Wang's in Palm Springs. And my Uncle Robert's going to come down. And we're going to, you know, do some of those songs that we recorded. Yeah, you should come down.
Oh, I'm planning on moving to LA next year. And
where are you?
I'm in Redding, California.
Okay, so that's not. Wait a minute. That's not far from here.
Yeah.
It's not too far. You can come.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I know where that is. I broke down there once. That's up in Northern California.
Yeah. Northern California.
Yes, I remember. Yes, I was trying to get down to Sausalito as fast as possible, and I think it was called the timing chain that went out.
Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area, San Mateo.
Oh, it's nice up there. I used to be from there.
Yeah, I know Keith and Rob and Bobby. They were both born there.
I think they probably spent a little time with my grandmother too.
It was nice there when I was growing up. Now it's just become very tech. You know, all the local businesses have become you know inaffordable housing for tech people and stuff. You know, I used to love it there. I had to get out.
Well, Sausalito and Mill Valley were always unaffordable to begin with.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, it shot up. It really shot up.
Do you ever?
It always does, though, you know. I mean, all you have to in real estate, that's what happens. Once in a blue moon, it goes down. But yeah, bye now.
Yeah. Do you ever play at the Roxy or the Whiskey?
No. No. I used to cruise the Sunset Strip back in the hairband days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the magic is kind of lost for that scene now.
Yeah.
It's not like it was at all.
Yeah, I went to the Rainbow 2 years ago when I was down there, and it was great to see the place, great to see like old pictures of all those hair metal guys on the wall and stuff, but yeah, I can kind of see the spirit of it's not like it used to be, I mean, I don't know what it was actually like, back in the 80s because I was a kid, but like, I can imagine from what I've seen, in the MTV videos and stuff, how great it was.
Sometimes it seems like they're taking advantage of the new artists coming up.
Yeah.
They have this thing called pay to play.
Oh, we have that.
They should work so hard and buy so much equipment and spend so much time rehearsing, so much time setting down that it's really not fair to not hand them money for what they're doing.
Oh yeah, we have that in stand-up comedy. We have bringer shows where we have to bring 10 people out on like a weekday night, so we can be hired to perform there on the weekends, opening for the big comedians, or we have to have a shitload of Facebook and Facebook followers and all that, and it's just insane. It's not about talent no more; it's about money.
Well, some of these places just have a draw. You go there, and people are always there because they love being there, and they know that the acts that are booked are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Pick your vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I mean, it's always been hard in the business, but I think it was a little bit easier 30 years ago than it is now. Just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit,
Well, the 70s was just magical, if you were an actor or a musician, it was magical. It was small. You did anything and everyone noticed.
Yep.
And you got on TV and that was it.
Yep.
Because there were only 12 stations and half of them didn't come in, so.
Yeah, back then, like, everybody in Hollywood knew each other. It was a small, tight-knit community, but now, it's so overpopulated because everybody wants to be famous and, you're just hustling. That's all you're doing.
Well, it used to be you couldn't make a movie unless it took so much money to make a movie that you had to convince people, and there was no one going out making movies if you didn't have a great cinematographer and a great director and great actors and stuff, because they just weren't going to do a schlock job on anything because it was so incredibly expensive. Now it's not so expensive. Anybody can make a movie.
Yep.
And so, so a lot of movies get made that no one hears about,
Yeah.
Some movies get made that, that I kind of wish they'd go back to film,
Yeah, I sure do too.
Or at least half of everyone really go back to film.
Yeah, I go to, these conventions and these film festivals, and I see these new movies that are like having a sneak preview, and I walk out of there like, it's a great movie, but nobody's going to see it. I have to like promote it on Facebook so they can go see it,
There's so many out there.
It's a sad
You can possibly hear about them all.
Oh. It's a sad thing. What do you like doing the most, acting or singing?
Well, doing a film that I happen to sing in, now there you go, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to do another musical. I haven't done one in a long time. But acting, you get to be anything. You know, usually when I do a film, I end up with either a song in the soundtrack or occasionally singing on screen, and then I get to do the acting as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how she's a singer, let's give her something to sing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on a film with
You're working on a film?
First String 2 I'll be working on the end of the month.
Nice.
I'll be talking to Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein?
Uh-huh.
Is it a serious movie or is it a comedy?
No, it's kind of serious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it a period film?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You don't see a whole lot of period films these days, I noticed.
Not a lot. It's a lot of work getting everything perfect like that.
Yeah, because you have to go into the history books and finding out, how they talked back then, how they looked, locations. It's a lot of work to do.
When you can't have a car drive by in the background, it's not right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm supposed to come down to LA in April for Monsterpalooza and stuff, but definitely next year when I move down there, I'll come see you sing.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm gonna be down there April 13th through the 15th. I mean, if you have a gig at that time and I have time, I'll come check it out. We'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Calista.
Yeah, I'll rock your world.
Yes, you will. You already have, but at least in person now you can do it.
Yeah, I light up like a Christmas tree when I get on stage.
Yes, you do. You have a glow about you.
Well, it was nice talking to you.
Oh, you too. You too. And
I'm glad we had this time together.
me too. And you have a good evening.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Calista Carradine. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Calista. You're a very nice lady, and I'm glad you took the time finally so we can do the interview, and it was great. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on Twitter, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.